Well, I can't believe it's 2019 and here I am still talking about vaccines. You wouldn't believe me if I told you when the first time I ever did my vaccine awareness seminar was. 15 years ago. And here we are, 2019, still trying to educate people that annual vaccines are not needed for our dogs. Yes, this is very near and dear to my heart. We lost one of our dogs a long time ago to vaccinosis. The picture you see here, Adam weighs about 67 pounds and he was a brick you-know-what house. He was very muscular, extremely healthy. We adopted him from the local shelter that we were volunteering at the time, and I think it was 43 days after he received his vaccinations, he died. We had to put him to sleep. He lost upwards of 40 pounds in that short period of time. There was nothing we can do. His body was pretty much shutting down. That was back in 2004. That was one of the last times we followed a traditional annual vaccination protocol. Adam, he was a special dog. He really was. He was in the shelter we were volunteering at back in 2003-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. And we started fostering him and we fell in love with him. Our pit bull Amber at the time also fell in love with him, so we decided to adopt him. And part of the adoption process was we had to make sure that he was up to date on all of his vaccines. And at the time, we were a little bit on the fence about annual vaccines and diet and nutrition. My wife and I were really coming into our own as far as seeking a more holistic and natural approach to our pet's care. But we had to do it. Part of the adoption process, it is what it is. Plus, we didn't really know his history, so we had no choice but to get his full schedule of vaccines. His rabies, his distemper combo shot, etc. And yeah, at the time we thought, this was just a one-off weird scenario, but the more involved we got in health and nutrition and holistic care, and obviously at the time we were also had a holistic nutrition shop up in New Jersey. So we were meeting more and more people that were like us, that were seeking more natural and healthy alternatives for our pets. And wouldn't you know it, we weren't alone. We learned and we met many people whose dogs suffered severe reactions and yes, sometimes death from vaccines. Sometimes right on the veterinarian's table. We really couldn't believe how prevalent this problem was becoming. So as part of my pet care educational lectures and workshops that I used to do, I started integrating like a vaccine type of education just to bring awareness. I'm not a veterinarian, I can't tell people what medical treatment to give their animals, but we can certainly promote and advocate for more awareness surrounding vaccines. And we educated ourselves. Obviously, we did a lot of internet research. We started interviewing holistic veterinarians, and we really got a firm understanding of how we can take a more conservative approach to vaccines. And we learned from the likes of Dr. Gene Dodds, Dr. Ronald Schultz, other websites that were prominent in canine immunology and vaccines. Dr. Gene Dodds, she is most famous for her conservative yet protective vaccine protocol. I'll make sure I put her website down in the description. Please check her out. And also Dr. Ronald Schultz. He is also another leader in canine immunology and vaccinations. And Dr. Schultz, a long time ago, suggested that a vaccine given after 6 months of age could protect the dog for 7 years to life. Yet here we are in 2019, still annually vaccinating our dogs. And of course, the Rabies Challenge Fund is a website you should definitely go check out. The Rabies Challenge Fund, they're promoting a more conservative approach to rabies vaccinations, as well as modifying the laws around the country in the United States to match scientific data. And that's when I learned, about things like, some prep work you could do before vaccines, like boosting the immune system, giving your dog some liver detoxification supplements, and of course, Titers. A titer is basically a blood test that tests the level of antibodies in your dog's system, so you know exactly what vaccines, if any, your dog needs to be boosted for. So definitely do some research on titers as well, because that's a very helpful tool in identifying what, if any, our dogs need as far as vaccines go. And again, this is just a quick short video that, just to further get the word out there, because apparently there's still veterinarians out there that are recommending annual vaccinations. I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, how is this possible? And the worst part, which is probably old information, but if you're new to researching more about vaccines, you might not even be aware of this. A vaccine for a 10-pound Chihuahua, for instance, if Chihuahuas even get that big, is the same exact dose for a 110-pound Mastiff. Same dose. Isn't that crazy? And I'm not going to get into all the harmful ingredients that are in vaccines. I mean, word on the street now is they're getting better at eliminating some of the harmful toxins that are in vaccines, but I just can't imagine that vaccinating annually, which isn't needed, is healthy anyway. So I don't care how safe they make vaccines. If you're doing something every year that doesn't need to be done every year, why the heck are we still promoting it? Well, this is just a little tidbit on vaccines. Again, I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there. I didn't really look on YouTube or anything like that, but it keeps coming up in feeds on my social media and conversations with my clients. I mean, it's still, again, it blows my mind that veterinarians are still promoting annual vaccinations. Please, stop. You're killing our animals. I'm sorry, but like I said, this is near and dear to my heart. We've been personally affected by this. Friends and loved ones and customers and clients over the years that we've known, they've been directly affected by this. I mean, it's really got to stop. I mean, really. I mean, come on. It's 2019. We have got to do better. So next time you bring your dog or cat to the vet and they bring up vaccines, have a discussion. You don't have to be combative. Our relationship with our veterinarians, they should be a partnership anyway. But definitely bring the subject up, because if you don't, your veterinarian is just going to go by protocol. And they're going to look at a piece of paper and they're going to say, okay, little Buffy is due for X vaccine, right? Just bring the subject up, have an honest conversation about it, talk about titers, talk about your options as opposed to annual vaccinations. They're our beloved pets. We have to speak for them. They can't speak for themselves. Well, I hope this was helpful. And if you're new to the channel, take a peek around, check out my other videos. If you want to stay up to date on pet care and dog training, consider subscribing. Click that bell for notifications so you get notified when I upload new content. And for all of you that are back again, I appreciate your support. Again, I hope I'm over-delivering and I am exceeding your expectations. And again, any content or material you want me to cover, drop them in the comments below. I'm here to serve you, and I really appreciate it. And get the word out. Share this video, like, comment, tell your friends, tell all your pet-loving friends. They don't need to vaccinate their pets every year. Please, spread the word.